Many people believe a simple rule about economic growth. They think that to be an industrial powerhouse, a city or a region must be on the coast. The idea is that having a seaport is the only way to connect to global trade routes and move goods cheaply. This belief shapes investment decisions and government policies all around the world. It creates a focus on coastal development, often leaving inland areas behind. This coastal bias is a powerful story, but it is not the complete story. It overlooks a crucial part of how modern economies are built and connected. The world map is full of exceptions to this rule, showing us that geography is not destiny. We need to challenge this outdated way of thinking. The world is not just a collection of ports connected by oceans. It is a complex network of roads, railways, and rivers. These connections are just as important as sea lanes. In fact, for many industries, being located inland is a strategic advantage. It puts them closer to raw materials, closer to domestic markets, and at the center of a dense web of land-based infrastructure. The future of industry is not just about shipping containers across the sea. It is about creating efficient supply chains that move goods seamlessly across both land and water, connecting every corner of a country. The idea that only coastal regions can thrive is a myth that holds back progress. It creates an unequal distribution of opportunities, concentrating wealth and jobs in a few locations. This can lead to overcrowded cities on the coast and underdeveloped regions inland. A more balanced approach is needed. By looking at the world through the lens of connectivity, we see a different picture. We see that landlocked regions have immense potential waiting to be unlocked. The key is not access to the sea, but access to efficient and reliable transportation networks, no matter where they are located. This is the new reality of the 21st century economy. Thinking beyond the coastline opens up new possibilities for places like Bihar. It allows us to see its geography not as a limitation, but as an asset. The focus shifts from what it lacks, a seaport, to what it possesses in abundance. It has a strategic location within India, a massive population, and a network of rivers that were once the highways of commerce. By understanding that industrial success is built on connectivity, not just proximity to the sea, we can start to imagine a new future. A future where inland regions become the new engines of economic growth, driving development from the heartland outwards. We do not have to look far for examples of successful landlocked industrial hubs. Germany's Ruhr Valley is a perfect case. This region is far from any coast, yet it became the industrial heart of Europe. How did this happen? The answer flows through its rivers, the Rhine and the Ruhr. These rivers were transformed into liquid highways, allowing barges to carry coal, steel, and manufactured goods at a very low cost. This efficient river transport system connected the Ruhr Valley to ports like Rotterdam and the rest of the world. It proves that a well-developed river network can be just as powerful as a deep-water port, turning an inland area into a global industrial player. In the United States, we see a similar story. Cities like St. Louis and Memphis grew into major industrial and commercial centers because of their location on the Mississippi River. This mighty river system acts as a central artery for the entire country. It connects the agricultural heartland and industrial Midwest to the Gulf of Mexico and global markets. Industries in these cities could source raw materials from upriver and ship finished products downriver, all at a fraction of the cost of road or rail transport. The river became the backbone of their economic success, proving that a strategic position on a major waterway can overcome the challenge of being landlocked. Even in modern China, the story continues. Cities like Chongqing, located over 1,000 miles inland, have exploded into megacities and manufacturing hubs. Chongqing sits at the confluence of the Yangtze and Jialing rivers. The Chinese government invested heavily in the Three Gorges Dam and other infrastructure projects to make the Yangtze River navigable for large ships year-round. This has turned Chongqing into the world's largest inland port. It now builds cars and electronics and ships them directly to Shanghai and the rest of the world. This demonstrates how strategic investment in river logistics can create an industrial giant deep within a country's interior. The lesson from Germany, the USA, and China is clear and powerful. Having a coast is not a requirement for industrial success. What is required is connectivity. Rivers are nature's highways, and when they are developed for modern logistics, they provide a low-cost, high-capacity transport solution. They can link inland production centers to national and international markets with incredible efficiency. These examples show that any region with a strong river system has the fundamental building block for an industrial revolution. It is a lesson that holds profound implications for places like Bihar, which sits astride one of the world's most significant river systems. Bihar has a geographical advantage that has been overlooked for too long. The state is crisscrossed by a dense network of rivers, with the mighty Ganges flowing right through its heart. This river system is not a barrier. It is a massive, underutilized asset. In ancient times, the Ganges was the main artery of trade and transport for the Magadhan Empire, making the region prosperous. We can revive this legacy. By developing modern river transport infrastructure, we can turn the Ganges and its tributaries into low-cost corridors for commerce. Imagine barges carrying agricultural produce and manufactured goods from Bihar to the port of Haldia and beyond, at a fraction of today's logistics costs. This focus on river transport, known as inland waterways, could be a game-changer for Bihar's economy. Transporting goods by water is significantly cheaper than by road or rail. This cost advantage would make industries in Bihar more competitive. Factories could source raw materials and ship finished products more affordably, boosting their profit margins and attracting new investment. This would be especially beneficial for heavy industries and agriculture, where transportation costs are a major factor. The development of the National Waterway 1 on the Ganges is the first step, but much more investment is needed to build terminals, dredge channels, and create a complete logistics ecosystem. Beyond its rivers, Bihar's greatest resource is its people. The state has one of the youngest and largest populations in India. This is often seen as a challenge, but it is actually a massive demographic dividend waiting to be harnessed. A large workforce means a plentiful supply of labor, which can keep production costs low and attract labor-intensive industries. However, population alone is not enough. The key is to transform this population into a skilled workforce. This requires a radical rethink of the education and vocational training systems in the state, moving beyond rote learning to practical industry-relevant skills. The challenge, therefore, is to connect Bihar's two greatest assets, its rivers and its people. This means creating an education system that prepares the youth for the jobs that a new industrial economy will create. We need vocational training institutes focused on logistics, manufacturing, food processing, and modern agricultural techniques. The curriculum should be designed in partnership with industries to ensure that students are learning the skills that are actually in demand. By investing in skill development, Bihar can ensure that its people are not just laborers, but active participants and innovators in the state's industrial revival, powering its journey forward. For Bihar to transform its potential into reality, it must confront its long-standing challenges head-on. The biggest obstacles are not geographical, but institutional. Corruption and excessive bureaucracy, often called the license Raj, create friction and increase the cost of doing business. They discourage investors and slow down projects. To build a new industrial future, Bihar needs a transparent, predictable, and efficient governance system. This means simplifying regulations, digitizing government services to reduce human interference, and establishing strong anti-corruption measures. Creating a business-friendly environment is not just a policy choice, it is an absolute necessity for attracting the capital needed for an industrial takeoff. Alongside governance reform, the state must aggressively pursue investment in infrastructure. While the river network is a key asset, it needs to be supported by a modern multimodal logistics system. This means building high-quality roads and bridges that connect production centers to river terminals. It means developing reliable power grids to run factories without interruption. And it means creating industrial parks with pre-approved clearances and ready-to-use utilities. These investments will create a virtuous cycle. Better infrastructure attracts more industry, which in turn generates the revenue to fund further infrastructure development, creating a spiral of growth and prosperity. The goal should be to create a new identity for Bihar, one based on innovation and industrial strength. This involves fostering a culture of entrepreneurship and supporting local businesses. The government can play a crucial role by providing access to credit, mentoring, and technology. The focus should be on industries that leverage Bihar's natural strengths, such as food processing, agro-based manufacturing, textiles, and light engineering. By building specialized industrial clusters, Bihar can create ecosystems where businesses can collaborate, innovate, and compete on a global scale. This is how regions build lasting economic advantage. The path forward for Bihar is clear. It is not about reinventing the wheel, but about learning the lessons of connectivity from other successful landlocked regions and applying them to its own unique context. By harnessing its mighty rivers, empowering its young population through skills, and committing to bold reforms in governance, Bihar can script a remarkable turnaround. It can move from being a source of migrant labor to a destination for investment and talent. The vision is an industrial powerhouse in the heart of India, powered by its rivers and its people, reviving its ancient glory and building a prosperous future for generations to come.